Studio time check is 2 minutes gone past the hour of 12 on the PM side right here at Pensioners 106.7 FM. Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan. Yes, you already know it's time for Midday Sport on this dial. And my name is EEDRIS ABIOLA. You're welcome on board. On the show this afternoon, we shall be taking a look at the draws that were made yesterday across Europe, talking of the UEFA Champions League and of course the Europa League. I know that quite a lot of people will be talking about the draws already. We've seen draws that would make heads to burst. Yes, the ones that will make heads to burst. But before I talk too much on the show this afternoon, let me just bring onto the microphone the guys that we are here together. We're going to be doing all of this together just like we do it every other day. Yes, Raymond, TOLULOPE, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to our listeners. Another time for sports, and like you said, the Champions League. I think for the first time in history, according to my own statistics, we're going to have the most competitive Champions League ever.
I know you always have the facts. Your assumptions, anyway.
Not assumptions. I mean, the top 5 league have successfully produced all the 16 teams. So, what do you expect?
Raymond. Quit for a while. Femi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Idris, and good afternoon to our listener at home. I think Raymond is in the mood already, so not to waste any of that time, let's get it started here.
Okay. Yes, talking of the draws of the UEFA Champions League, yesterday we saw that Borussia Dortmund will be playing against Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid up against Man City, Atalanta up against Valencia, Chelsea will be facing Bayern Munich, Lyon against Juventus, Tottenham against RB Leipzig, Napoli against Barcelona, Atletico Madrid against Liverpool. Raymond, a lot of games here that one would want to say that, you are not so sure of who will get to qualify to the quarter-final stage of this season UEFA Champions League. Like, let me say, Real Madrid, Man City.
Yeah, top notch. And one thing I noticed about the draw is that it's a battle of like La Liga against England. Madrid, Man City, Atletico Madrid against Liverpool. I think there is one other as well. I think those two, the Madrid against the City and Liverpool. And though you can't predict anything for now because, from now to February, many things could happen. There could be loss of form, there could be injuries. But then if you are to judge with form now, at this moment, then you want to give Liverpool. You don't give Atletico Madrid a chance against Liverpool. Knowing fully well, Diego Simeone's men are not even doing good at all front. And of course, Man City against Real Madrid. You want to look at it, they will have never lost out since I became a manager in the Champions League knockout stages. And then you want to look at Manchester City, that is in a bit also struggling, despite winning 3 goals to nothing during the weekend. But they don't have any European pedigree. You know how they fought out every time.
Femi, Napoli against Barcelona. Do you think Napoli has got all it takes to make it to the quarterfinals of this season, the UEFA Champions League? Looking at it that they are playing against Barcelona, almighty Barca from Spain.
I think it will be a difficult contest, to be fair. But then, Napoli as well, I've seen this season has been struggling. They have not been consistent. Second, Carlo Ancelotti, replacing him with General Gattuso, and he even lost the first game in charge. So this goes a long way to show how inconsistent they've been this season. And to pin them against Barcelona, who have been a constant, regular team in the Champions League, I don't think, well, I wouldn't say they don't stand a chance, but I think they have a very slim chance of, progressing to the...
You think?
Yeah, yes, I think because Barcelona, even if Barcelona are without their, talisman now, talking about Lionel Messi, I think they still always have this horror of, they know the Champions League so well. So you expect Barcelona to qualify for the next round, obviously. But I think Napoli can pull an upset. But then I don't see that happening. I just even if it's going to happen, it's going to be a slim chance. So I think Barcelona will just nick down and qualify for the next round.
Okay, talking of the dates now, I can tell you that the first leg of the UEFA Champions League round of 16 games will be played on the 18th February, 19th February, and the 25th February and 26th February, while the UEFA Europa League games will be played on the 28th of February and 27th of February. Now, quickly to talk about the Europa League now. We've seen the draws. We saw that Wolves will be playing against Espanyol. Olympiacos will be against Arsenal, while Club Brugge will be up against Manchester United. Now, quickly, Wolves against Espanyol, Olympiacos, Arsenal, Club Brugge against Manchester United. Have the English teams, have they got the chance to qualify to the round of 16 of this season Europa League?
Well, everybody has a chance. Like I said, before you can even judge at all, then that means you have to wait till February. Club Brugge against Manchester United, I think they have a chance in there. I mean, playing against the team for Belgium. But then, in the Europa League is so funny, you cannot underrate any team. Not even if a team from Nigeria is playing the Europa League, for instance, you can't just underrate any team. I mean, the
likes of Yimba.
I mean, so you can't underrate. So definitely, the English team is the defending champion. That is Chelsea. Yeah. We got two English teams in the final. But then you might look at the bigness of United and the bigness of Arsenal. But then what they bring to the pitch of play matters. Now it's not about the name. It is about what you offer on the pitch. So
the quality.
The quality. Everybody has a chance. If you do it right, then you qualify.
Well, I'm going to comment on Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Espanyol. I think Wolves on their part are in the European stage this season, have been doing relatively good, and they have players that are they've got the form too. You're talking about the likes of.
They have a relatively good manager.
Of course, it is. Yeah, Nuno Espirito Sanchez, who is doing a very good job, and they have players that just seem to clicking. We were talking about Ruben Neves, talking about João Moutinho, Raul Jimenez, and Adama Traore. These guys are very good, and I think they have what it takes, to beat Espanyol if you consider the form. But as Raymond has earlier said, this time they're going to play the matches, still pretty much long, so you never can tell. In football, that starts to be judged by what the performance you put in. So I just feel these people, Wolverhampton Wanderers will nick that one, obviously.
Yes, okay, let me tell you that you can also be part of the show by calling the studio line. The lines to call are 080-80-10-1067, 080-80-10-1067, or 090-81-11-1067, 090-81-11-1067. Tell us what you feel about the fixtures, the draws that were made yesterday, talking of the UEFA Champions League and, of course, the Europa League. Okay, guys, let's come back home. Let's talk Shooting Stars and Crown FC of Ogbomoso. Now, yesterday, Crown FC of Ogbomoso went all the way to Lagos. They played against Stationary Stores of Agege, and they came back with a maximum 3 points. They beat Stationary Stores by 2-1, courtesy of brace by Sunday Odudu. I mean, that was fantastic. They now have 9 points. They won 3 games. They lost 1. They topped the log now with 9 points. I mean, it's been fantastic for them. Now, Shooting Stars also, they won 3 games. They drew 1. 10 points for them in 4 games.
Definitely, lovely one from both Oyo State teams. I mean, being early pace setters. I mean, it will be fantastic having both teams in the Premier League, in the Nigerian Professional Football League. If at the end of the day they make it, don't forget there will be no playoff this time around. It is he who tops the group that wins out of the 4 groups. I mean, and both of them 10 points and 9 points respectively in different groups now. I think it's a lovely one for Shooting Stars to have gotten that, and of course for Crown FC to have also gotten that for themselves. But the question remains: can they actually sustain that lead to the end of the season? And even if it should happen, according to a new, is that a new rule now? A state cannot have two teams. Don't forget, Aqua started
In the Nigeria Professional Football League or the NNL?
in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Okay. Don't forget, Aqua started has changed to Dakar International FC, and that was because of the so-called rule they brought in.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable that rule is until we continue and see how things will be.
You know, now that the government has even promised them that they will support them financially, whatever they need, they should just keep pushing. According to Seun Fakorede, who happens to be the commissioner for youth and sport in Oyo State, he was in Lagos yesterday. He was at Agege. He saw that game against Crown FC and the stationery stores, and he said, "Look, the government is behind you guys. Just keep pushing, keep doing more, so that at the end of the day, you get that promotion ticket." Now, I want us to look at the chances that the two teams have got. Have they got what it takes to get the promotion ticket to play in the 2020-2021 Nigeria Professional Football League season next year?
Well, it's a big question, Idris. I won't lie, because if you tell me, do they have what it takes?
No, according to how they have started now, their recent performances.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, their recent performance has been so fantastic. When you look at it, I mean, winning away from home is one of the hardest in the NNL. Not even in the
Not
MPFL.
even in the NNL, you know, all around the world. I mean,
no, I think
when you play, but I understand.
In certain clients,
I understand.
But you know, within our own home settings, winning away, in fact, it's even easier to win away in the MPFL than the NNL. Because NNL, you go to pitches and you begin to wonder and see the pitch that 3 years he played on Sunday.
Against the Lion.
The Lion. I mean, I saw the pictures and I mean, it
was nothing to write.
Exactly, compared to the Massive Stadium. So you know, you're going to meet a lot of challenges in there, and for them to have been able to negotiate away wins for that matter, it's a very impressive one. Now, the sustainability is what matters. Government supporting them very well, and they putting their own performance into play at every time. Keep your own wins. Make sure you get a draw or some wins away from home. Then you are home and dry.
Now, quickly, let's go to the camp of Aqua United. You already know what happened yesterday. Their former coach John Obu, resigned, and almost immediately they appointed new coach Kennedy Boboye. I mean, why do we have to do this all the time? I mean, locally, I understand that they won a single game under John Obu out of 8 games, and that was probably, though he complained, he said some players are like a lackadaisical. They have no discipline for the team's management and the technical crew. So that was why he had to resign. I mean, when players are not giving you the respect that you need from them as a coach, is it right for you to resign all because of that?
It's not having the enabling environment. Okay. And you know,
but he never mentioned that.
He's saying the players are lackadaisical. That means the environment is not good. That means he's in a bit after I think 7-8 games he has lost his dressing room. But then from the onset, John Obo hasn't have it to read for himself. If we have to be true to ourselves, and no matter how the complaint might bring, though we don't get to see these games, but then since he hasn't really been up and doing one game in how many games, and you know they are not doing one in top of the table, so it's normal for him. I think he saved his face by resigning and putting other things. But then I was even expecting that Dukudi would take over. I mean, being the assistant. But then Kennedy Boboye, former winner with Plateau United, coming in. Then if Kennedy Boboye can turn the whole thing around, then we'll see if it is the players or John Obu.
He's been out of job for a while.
Yeah, it happens because nobody came for him. I mean, for them. But then I think Aqua United coming for him now. Maybe he might just want to prove another metro. Right there.
Well, I think he's a champion too. Don't forget that he already coached the likes of Sunshine Stars, Abia Warriors, Plateau United, and of course he won the league.
He was a winner with Plateau United. So yeah, so he's a winner. So I mean, we're talking about 2 years now. So he's a winner.
Hopefully, he's able to turn things around right there at Aqua United. And quickly, guys, let's talk about one Nigerian player. I mean, former Nigerian international. He retired. Well, don't let me say he retired anyways, because he was out because of injury, and now he tried to resuscitate his career. He got a contract with KVC Westerlo, a second division side in Belgium, RAYMOND. But now, I mean, they've pulled a plug on his deal with them, saying he's not fit. Talking of Emenike, a 32-year-old Nigerian player.
One-time Nigerian bully, won the Nations Cup in 2013, and at the point in time, I felt Nigeria had one of the best strikers on the continent. But you know what can happen to our inconsistency? Well, I mean,
particularly in 2013 when we won the Nations
Cup. Yeah, it was
fantastic.
Fantastic up and doing, and even to some. I think that was the time we went to. Was it this team from the South Africa or East African country now? I've forgotten the name. That he had to bail us out 2-1. I remember that rocket from the edge of the box. But I mean, all the way from Turkey down to the Dutch League Division 2, you wouldn't have expected him at 32. There are players still, doing fantastic well at this age. Scoring goals.
What probably could have caused that? Nigerian players, what they do. Ordinarily, I don't get to tell you my real age. The age factors comes in.
Definitely, you can put that. You can put that one side. It's a Nigerian thing. I'll put it that way. But then, pulling the plug on him, despite Division 2, not too good for him for his career. But does he still have the fire to continue? To continue. That is just the question.
Okay, quickly, this one I'm going to start from FEMI. The Nigeria Football Federation has lined up friendly games for the Super Eagles come next year. They are saying we're going to be playing Italy and Germany just because they feel we should play a very strong side. We've played Brazil 2 months ago, we played Ukraine, and of course we saw that enabled the Super Eagles players to
up their performances
on the pitch, and of course it shapes them very well when they play against the likes of Brazil and all of that, because they are a very strong side in world football. Now that we are playing Italy and Germany, and of course next year we're going to be playing African Cup of Nations qualifiers and also World Cup qualifiers, do you think we have, or let me say, do you see us as a force to be reckoned with, talking of global football now? Do you think Italy and Germany will be willing to play us?
Well, I wouldn't start with saying that you see Nigeria as a force to be reckoned with, and going by the fixture that the pitch against Nigeria, talking about Italy and Germany now, I think this is the best sort of preparation you will get to enter in a major tournament. But as you've earlier said, that the likes of the South American side we faced in the past, has geared up their performances going into competition. So I just feel this would actually be a good one for them. Talking about how they will raise their game, and don't forget to that this kind of performances are always monitored, and this kind of issue are always monitored by FIFA, and this also help when in consideration when they are talking about the FIFA. I'm talking about the FIFA rankings now. Where Nigeria will get a chance to hop their ranking, and if they can manage to beat I don't.
No, it's not even about winning. I think it's about what
you're talking about as
players.
The effect
those kind of games will have on the players. When you play against the likes of Italy, Germany, of course you are playing against the best side.
Of course.
When it comes to international games. So what effect, the impact it will have on the players, on the team? That's what we are looking at now. It will make them to do more on the pitch. So that's the focal point.
I think this has to do with with the attitude of the players too. We can talk about how well they perform or not, but then I think for every player on his or part on his part, you have to have the right attitude in this kind of situation. Now when you are represent, other people say, okay, some particular players, when they are representing their club, they give their whole, judging because of the money they earn or how much they earn also. But if they are facing this type of countries and facing the best of the teams, it has to, you have to have the right attitude as a player, that if this kind of games is going to affect your how I call it now, performances, because you want to actually give your best, representing your country when you are facing the best. I don't think you understand what I'm saying, Idris. So I just feel if they have the right attitude, I'm talking about the players now, it will affect their game going forward.
Now, Raymond, do you think we should be happy now that we are playing against the best sides across the world? We've played Brazil in the past, we played Ukraine, now we are playing. There's every possibility of us playing Italy and Germany come next year.
Well, playing the big guns, test our power more than playing average teams. Moreover, to move up in the FIFA ranking as well, when you play the big guns, I mean, teams with the first 10, first 20, it
On
helps
the rankings.
on the ranking, because according to FIFA,
Helps.
if you score a goal, or you pick a draw, or you pick a win, anything you do against the big boys counts a lot. So if you have the chance of playing Germany and playing Italy, the rest of this country, these nations, that means that going forward we will know how good we are. Then we can prepare well. I mean, these are matches that tells. Yes, we know it's friendly matches, and they can substitute as many as 6 players. But then, testing yourself with the best helps a lot.
Okay, quickly. Report has it that Jose Mourinho wants Tottenham to splash millions on Osimhen. Raymond,
Victor
is
Osimhen.
he the next thing to play for Mourinho? Do you see him a player who would do well at Tottenham, especially in England?
Let me say this. Personally, I don't actually trust that news. Because
I don't too.
because
Said report has it that
that's why I say I don't trust the reports.
Okay.
Because number one, you want to look at the let's look at indices. Mourinho has a certain hurricane, who is still 25 years of age.
Of
or
course,
26.
if he makes that move, he's going to be a squad player.
Squad.
Not a
Yeah,
first team
yes.
regular.
In fact, he won't even get time.
And
And we know a certain Jose Mourinho who doesn't even change his team most times. So how will a Osimhen that is looking good, doing good for himself,
up and coming.
now decide to go and sit on the bench at Tottenham
He
Hotspur?
has 9 goals to his credit already. He has provided 3 assists in all competitions so far.
He should just stay at lead. Don't let unnecessary transfer enter his head.
Of course.
And let him just stay focused. Have a lovely
That's going
season.
to be a no-brainer.
I mean, of course. I mean, it's a no-go area. You should not even try it.
Okay, quickly, let's talk European football. Everton set to confirm Ancelotti as new boss before the end of the week.
Wow.
This has always been in the news for the past 2 weeks now.
Hey.
We've been hearing it. Everton, Ancelotti, Mikel Arteta, their former player. I mean, but according to report now, it is likely that they make it official before the week runs out.
I think this is going to be a good one for Everton, obviously, judging by the fact that this coach in question, Carlo Ancelotti, has a wealth of experience, to his name, and his CV is definitely attractive. He has
15 titles to his credit.
That's a massive one. He has other teams that he has coached to his name, talking about Napoli,
AC
Chelsea,
Milan.
Real Madrid, and the like. So I think this is a good move for them, because we all have seen Everton play this season. They've been very, very inconsistent. They don't have a certain style of football, even though they've managed to beat some big boys in, let's talk about the top 6 now, Chelsea, and they managed to draw against Manchester United. Of course, that was after they appointed the interim manager Duncan Ferguson. I think it's a good one for them going forward. He's a coach with a good record. So.
And now, Raymond, this brings us to Arsenal Mikel Arteta saga.
You just have to laugh anytime you hear that.
No. Now, as we speak, Arsenal Chiefs have had talks with Mikel Arteta twice, and they are planning on having the third one come Monday next week. Now, Raymond, do you see the possibility of Mikel Arteta joining Arsenal anytime soon?
Definitely. I think Arsenal will eventually appoint Arteta if all talks and all reports coming are said to be true. Ancelotti, the man we would have thought he would be the next manager of Arsenal, has now signed. He's going to sign for Everton, according to what we're saying. Likely he's going to sign between now and today, tomorrow rather. And who else will they go for than Arteta? And looking at it, I think they want to believe Arteta has got some little experience from Pep Guardiola. I mean, build Arsenal. And but the question remains, with what is going up at Arsenal, Arteta, does he have what it takes to steady that ship? Because that ship, I mean,
a very big one.
I was reading stuff from Sam Allardyce, and he was saying Arsenal players actually playing football. I mean, you look at the way they play, and you want to question, I mean, their passion for the team. And you want to look at how will Arteta come in, what tactics. I mean, I don't want to underrate him, because a certain Pep Guardiola was also like this when he came to Barcelona and did the wonders. It's same thing as today. I made his mark. So I just wait to, if he's appointed, then we just wait to the kind of magic he's going to perform at Arsenal.
But I think that is not going down too well with Man City, because they are actually hungry at the situation.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose Mikel Arteta anytime soon.
Yes, they want Pep Guardiola and his coaching staff. They want Mikel Arteta to address that issue because it's been affecting their own planning. Talking about the management and all now. But talking about Mikel Arteta going to Arsenal, it's going to be a good one. And then there's this trend in football now, whereby the former players of clubs, they are going back to their club. Talking about Zinedine Zidane to Madrid now, Lampard to Duncan Ferguson to Everton, and now Mikel Arteta
make that move to Liverpool.
Yeah, maybe that remains to be seen. But then Mikel Arteta, he's played for Arsenal from 2011 to 2016 before joining the coaching staff when he retired. I just think it's we don't even know what to expect. There's so many things attached to Arsenal Football Club now that when you just hear Arsenal, sometimes you just wonder that what the Arsenal really have to offer. So I think it's going to be a good for them. But they are very desperate to sign a coach. So Mikel Arteta is going to be a good one.
Okay, quickly to Manchester United fans. Pogba, yes, Pogba's return has been hit by injury. He was supposed to come back over the weekend. On Friday, he went to attend his brother's wedding ceremony. He was meant to see the doctor at Old Trafford on Saturday. But on Sunday, yes, his situation got worse. So now Pogba is sidelined again, and we do not know when he's going to make that comeback to play for Manchester United. And it is on that note that we are signing off on the show this wonderful afternoon. It is 28 minutes already gone past 12 on the PM side right here at Pensioners 106.7 FM. Yes, many thanks to our producer Tunde Tiamiyu. And quickly, guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, till I come your way again tomorrow morning on Sports Spectra. My name is EEDRIS ABIOLA. Good afternoon.
From the rising to the setting of the sun, here is the first labor radio in Africa. Pensioners 106.7 FM Agbarigo Nireke Ibadan, a station for the elderly, the youth, teenagers, and in fact our children. It's a station for all, so come patronize us on Pensioners 106.7 FM. All corporate organizations, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, artisans, private companies, market men and women, civil servants, and other categories of workers. This is your station. Just visit the marketing department of Pensioners 106.7 FM Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan and you'll be glad you did. Pensioners FM, the voice of liberation. The voice of liberation.
Oṣù dẹ̀dẹ̀ bí aró, omilẹ̀ tìtì bí àròdá òjò. Òjò ẹ̀dá ẹni ò tó tàná. Pensioners FM 106.7 Ọlọ́run ló dirí ẹwà fákùkọ. Òṣùpálẹ̀ àní ògún ẹni ọwọ́ ẹ̀ bá tó kó lọ tún ṣe. Pensioners FM àkọ́kọ́ orú ẹ̀ l'Áfíríkà.
Ìkànnì Pensioners 106.7 lẹ́ṣìwà Àgbàlódé rédíò. Ètò tí ó kàn báyìí ni Gbàgede Ọjà pẹ̀lú Tóyìn Ọmọ́tọ̀ṣọ́. Ẹ máa bá a bọ̀.
Èrò ọjà olówó. Èrò ọjà olómọ. Èrò ọjà olówó. Èrò ọjà olómọ. Kílẹ̀ ti sọjà yìí sí o. Kílẹ̀ ti ṣayé sí. Kílẹ̀ ti sọjà yìí náà. Jalolo jalolo. Ẹ má má jẹ́ kọjá yìí túmọ̀ wá lórí. ẹ̀yin àgbà tó tágbà tó táyé ṣe àgbà yín àdálẹ́ ọmọdé ni mi ò olúwadà mi lágbà àgbà tó ń mú lérò tó ṣe bí ìmọ̀ràn mi ò tó gbà yín ní ìmọ̀ràn iṣẹ́ ọlọ́run ni mò ń jẹ́ kí lẹ ti ṣayé sí o ẹ̀yin tó dipò mú kí lẹ ti lọ́pọ̀ sí ẹ̀yin tá a gbọ́lá fún àṣìgbé bá wa sọ.